related to the quantities at each of these plants and the requirements at each of these warehouses is given in the form of those statements in that sense. So I'll add that information here. Okay, I'm going to say my supply quantity here. Okay, like we did in our previous example, and my demand quantity. Okay. So what's the supply that is available at each of these plants? The supply that is available at each of these plants is 1400, 2200 and 1700. So 1400, 2200 and 1700. And what's the demand at each of the destinations? 700, 1100, 2000 and 1500. Okay, so I captured all that information. Like we did last time, let's use the same color coding because it improves the readability and it makes our thinking clear in terms of what contains, which cells contain what information. Okay, so I'm using the same color code that we used like last time. Okay. Fair enough. Now, just put into the chat whether you've reached so far. Okay. Okay, I'll try to put this in Zoom chat, the whole thing. Wait a minute. Okay, I'll wait for a minute. Okay, see if you're able to copy it from the chat. I put that information there. Okay, so like we did last time, we are going to repeat exactly the same steps. Okay, the first step, if you remember, was to copy the whole thing down here. Okay, so I copied that. Okay, copied it. Okay, then what did we do? We introduced two columns here, inserted two columns here, correct? And we inserted two rows here. Yeah, that's what we did. Okay. Yes, Piyush, is there a question? Yes, Rahul, in assignments, questions will appear quite similar, okay, to what we are doing now. Okay, so we reached so far here. Now, this particular matrix, which is going to be a quantity matrix, let me again color it as a orange matrix. Now, because it is going to come, it is going to contain quantities, let me delete all the information in that. Okay. Now, as we know, this particular cell is going to contain the sum of the quantities that are going to be shipped from the Guwahati plant, right? So here I'm going to capture the formula for the sum of these four values, correct? press enter. Currently it will be 0 because there are no values here. And I'm going to simply copy the formula down. Okay, similarly in this cell, I'm going to put a sum formula for the quantities that are going to be received by the Bangalore destination. Okay, so I have done that here. I'm copying the formula across for all the 4 destinations. Okay, so again, very similar to what we did last time. Okay, what will be the relationship in terms of equality between this? It will be is equal to, so that all the quantities that are going to be shipped from each of these plans should equal 1400, 2200 and 1700 respectively, and the quantities received by each of these destinations should also equal to 700, 1100, 2000 and 1500 respectively. Okay. The last thing I need to do before I can go to solver and solve this, the last thing is to capture formula for the total transport cost. Total transport cost. And I know that the formula, of course, is the formula of some product. So I say is equal to some product. Right? And I select the first matrix, which is the yellow matrix, which is the unit transport cost. And then put a comma and then select the second matrix, which is my quantity matrix. Close the bracket, press enter. And this cell, okay, now which I'm highlighting in dark blue color, is the cell that will finally contain the total transport cost. Currently, it is containing 0 because there are no quantities in the orange matrix. Okay, I'll stop here for a minute now. Once you are able to catch up with me, just put it on the chat account. Could you repeat from the sum step? Is it? Okay, so that sum step, I'll repeat. Sum step, of course, is here. Look at this cell here. Right? This cell should contain the sum of the quantity that are going to come from the Guwahati plant. So in this cell, I've simply said sum of B10 to E10. See, B10 to E10. Correct? And once I enter that formula, I simply copy it down. Yeah, copy it down. Similarly, this cell here is going to contain the sum of the quantities that Bangalore is going to receive as a destination, right? So I say sum B10 to B12. That is sum of these 3 cells. So column A, it should be sum of the column, and rows may, it should be sum of the cells in the row. Okay. So that's so those sums have been captured here. Now those sums, we know that the total quantity going to come from Guwahati should equal 1400. So it should be is equal to here, is equal to, and is equal to. So whatever number we get here, it should match 1400. Whatever number we get here should match 1100. Here should match 1500, and so on. Once I have done that, the last step before I go to solver is to capture formula for the total transport cost. Remember, our objective is to minimize the total transport cost, right? So the formula for the total transport cost is going to be sum product of the 2 matrices. Sum product, open the bracket, give the first matrix, which is the transport cost matrix, put a comma, and then enter the second matrix, which is the quantity matrix, the orange matrix. So that is my formula for the sum product. Okay. Now, tell me whether you are you have been able to reach up to here. Okay, so yeah, okay, so I got okay. So let's go on then, because many of you, some product step again, please, sir. Ananya, some product, what you basically do is, I'm putting the cursor again on that this thing. As you can see, you open it with is equal to sign, and then write some product. So it is equal to some product. Okay, open the bracket, give the first matrix as input, put a comma, give the second matrix as input, and then close the bracket. Okay, is that okay? Okay, so last step now to go to solver. So watch carefully now and do it with me. So if there are any questions that are queries from the first example, you should be able to clarify those here now in the second example. Okay, so how do we do that? Okay, so how do we do it? Go to data, click on data here, data menu at the top. Under data menu, you will get this add-on at the right hand side top corner called solver, right? Click on it. It will open this window for you. Correct? Okay. Now the first thing it is asking you is, where is your objective cell? Correct? Now my objective cell is in B17 because our objective is to minimize the transport cost. Where is the formula for total transport cost on my Excel? It is in cell B17. So I capture B17 here, which is me telling Excel that I want this particular cell or the value in this particular cell to be set to minimum because we want to minimize the total transport cost. Okay, so I select minimum. So set objective is the field where there is a formula for total transport cost and you are setting it to minimum. By changing what? By changing the quantities that you are going to send from each of these plants to each of these warehouses. Correct? So by changing variable cells, put your cursor in there and select your entire quantity matrix. So by changing variable cells, put your cursor there and select the entire quantity matrix, because you are going to achieve minimum transport cost by changing the quantities that you are going to send from these plants to these warehouses. Okay. Now, the last step on solver is to add the constraints. What are those constraints? Now, like in the first example, there are two sets of constraints. There is a set of constraint on the supply side, and there is a set of constraint on the demand side. Correct? So let me add the first set of constraints. So I click on add. And I select the first these three cells because I want each of these cells to equal each of these cells, right? So I select these three cells. Then in the equality sign, I select is equal to here. And these three cells should match these three cells. So I select these three cells. So these three cells is equal to these three cells. That is how I capture the set of constraints. Once I've done that, I click on OK. Right? And as you can see here, the first set of constraints has been added here. This is my set of constraints on the supply side. I still need to add the set of constraints on the demand side here, right? Destination side. So I say add, select these four cells for four destinations, select the equality sign as is equal to, and select the constraints that they should match the quantity mentioned in the green cells there. So these 4 cells is equal to these 4 cells. Okay, I say okay, and then my solver now has both the sets of the constraints. The first constraint, or rather the second constraint now here, is the constraint set on the supply side. The first constraint is constraint set on the demand side. So all done. I need to select solving method as simplex LP. So simplex LP has been selected, and then I solve this. Click on solve, and it will tell you that solver has successfully found a solution and all constraints have been satisfied. So click on OK, and you will see that the solution has been put in the orange matrix there. Okay, solution has been put in the orange matrix there, and solver has worked out the minimum transport cost for you as 7,30,700. Yeah, which will be now populated in the formula for total transport cost. And what is the solution that solver has given you? It has told you that you should transport 1400 quantity from Guwahati to Patna here, right? 700 from Kochi to Bangalore, 900 from Kochi to Chandigarh, and 600 from Kochi to Patna. Similarly, from Raipur, you should send 200 to Chandigarh and 1500 to Nasik. If you do that, you will consume all the quantity at all the supplies, and you will satisfy all the demand at all the destinations. And the total minimum cost that you got is 730,700. You can try any other combination. You will not get a transport cost lower than this transport cost. So this is the best possible you will get, satisfying all the constraints. Okay. Now I'm going to stop here for 2 minutes. Do this, and if you're able to do it, put your answer on the chat. Okay. Okay. Now, Ayush, if it says that it is not able to find feasible solution, it is quite possible, Ayush, that possibly you did a mistake in these formulas which are capturing the sum. Okay. So check those formulas once again. Check these formulas also once again, and just check that everything is done correctly. Ayush, you check everything again and you should be able to get the answer. Now I got 5-6 answers now from Minakshi, Kanichka, etc. And you yeah, and some other people also got the answer. Okay. So there are 2 participants who have some query. I think put your queries on the. I'll handle as many queries as I can. Okay. You should check everything again. You get this kind of error, Ayush, when you make some mistake while, as I said, capturing the formulas of the sum, or you may have done some mistake in capturing the constraints on solver. Okay, so just check everything once again. Nikhil, can you repeat the formula for total transportation cost? Okay. So total transportation cost, Nikhil, I'm again putting the cursor on that cell. You can see it. It is equal to sum product. So put a equal to sign first. Then say sum product. Open the bracket. Capture the first matrix, which is your yellow matrix. Put a comma. You capture the second matrix, which is your orange matrix. Right? Close the bracket and press enter. You should be able to get that. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so it's nice to see that many of you have got the answer now. Others, keep on trying. I'm going to wait for 2 minutes. Shivam, answer to your question is you can do all of this in 2007. Okay, so you should be able to solve everything in 2007. The look and feel may be different, so you may have to do a little bit of R&D around it. Tanya, solver is not there. So I'll again repeat the steps that you need to do for adding solver. Okay, so for those people who are still not able to see solver on their Excel, the steps to add solver are these. Okay, click on file. Click on file. Then click on options. Okay. Shivam, you don't find solver in 2007, then try these steps. Okay. You should, in 2007 also, solver add-on is there. You need to find it. Okay. So under file, under options, go to add-ins. Yeah, go to add-ins. And then at the bottom here, at the bottom here, manage Excel add-ins may select solver. Yeah, you will be able to see solver here. Select solver and click on go. Then you will be able to see solver on your Excel. Okay, Tanya, I hope you are able to do it now. Okay. Others, if you're not using Excel at the moment, then I would strongly recommend that whenever you get time, try this whole thing again on Excel. There is no other way. There is absolutely no other way of understanding this unless you do it yourself. Yeah, Ananya, I'll repeat it from the variable part in a minute. Just give me a minute. So others, the only way to learn this is to do it yourself on Excel. If you don't do it, you will absolutely not understand this. Okay. Kuldeep, how much part of this subject is related to computer? As I said, we are going to do the entire subject based on Excel, Kuldeep. Okay. The manual ways of solving these are nobody does them now because obviously it's with all this technology available, we have to use the technology. Manual ways, the earlier ways are also very cumbersome and take a lot of more time. If you look at this now, we solve this example in just 15-20 minutes. Okay, manual, you will take a lot of time. Right? Now, I'm going to repeat this because there was a request here, variable part, right? So Ananya, on everybody else who's still catching up, yeah, please pay attention. Go to solver. So I'll go to solver. What I'll do is I'll remove the solution from the orange part. Okay, removed. So this is where we are. Go to solver. Okay, I'll reset everything so that we start doing everything from the beginning now. So set objective, I should select the cell which has the formula for the transport cost, right? So I select the formula there. I select the cell there which has the formula for the transport cost, which is my cell B17, right? What do you want to do with the total transport cost? You want to set it to minimum because you want to achieve a minimum transport cost, right? Cost is negative. Everybody wants to minimize the cost. So I select minimum. By changing what? By changing the quantity that you're going to send from each client to each destination. Correct? So where are those quantities going to be? They're going to be in my orange matrix. So here, basically, I need to select my quantity matrix. So I click there. Sorry. So I click there and I select the orange matrix. Sorry. Let me do it again. And select the orange matrix. Okay. The only thing that now remains is to add the constraints. So I click on add. I add the first set of constraints here is equal to these, right? And then I need to add the second constraint on the demand side. So these cells must equal these numbers. So both my sets of constraints have been added, as you can see here, right? Both sets of constraints have been added. Solving method should be simplex LP, and I solve it. It tells me that we have found a solution. So I say, okay. And the solution you will be able to find in the orange matrix with the total transport cost as 7,30,700. Okay. So that's how we solve a transportation problem. Yeah, Aditya, to answer your question, you will have these recorded sessions available. Okay. So you can go through the sessions again if you want. Okay, let me go to chat. Okay, right. One more example. Okay, we are going to do one more example. Yadnesh says got it. Okay, very good. Now, let's come to, now I want all of you to pay attention. All of you to pay attention. I know, you obviously are budding engineers, so obviously you are absolutely brilliant. There is no doubt about it. So let's come to this statement of the example. Okay. Look at this statement, please. Please also note that routes Kochi to Bangalore and Raipur to Patna are currently not available due to roadworks. Which in other words say that these routes currently are prohibited. Which is like saying you cannot send anything from Kochi to Bangalore and you cannot send anything from Raipur to Patna. Why not? Because the roads are physically not available. There is some problem, okay? And because there is some problem, you cannot send anything from Kochi to Bangalore and anything from Raipur to Patna. In other words, your solution should not include these two roads. Okay? This is called as the prohibited transport scenario, where certain routes are just prohibited. You cannot use those routes. Okay, let me come back to my Excel. So Kochi to Bangalore and Raipur to Patna. Okay, so I'm coming back to my Excel. See, Kochi to Bangalore. Kochi to Bangalore is this particular cell. You all agree? The cell that I am now highlighting in gray color. Kochi to Bangalore, this is not available. And Raipur to Patna, this is also not available. Are you with me on this? Do you understand this? Okay, how can we will get recordings of this lecture? Yes, I'm responding again. You are going to get recordings of both these lectures, the lecture that we had in the morning and the lecture that we are having now. You will be able to get the recordings. Okay, now where will these recordings be available? Let me ask Monesh sir, just 1 second to answer that question. Okay, Monesh sir, are you there? Hello, sir. Are you there? I don't think he's there at the moment, which is okay. But students, please don't worry. We will ensure that you get both the recordings of both the sessions available to you. by end of the day today. Okay, don't worry about it. Okay. Excellent. So now we are coming back to the prohibited part of it. As you can see, Kochi to Bangalore is prohibited and Raipur to Patna is prohibited. Okay, that means we have to ensure that our solution does not select these two routes. Now, because here we are trying to minimizing the cost, and I want to ensure that these two routes are not selected. The way of me telling Excel not to select these two routes is to put dummy values in these two cells with very high values. Okay, so instead of 112, I'm now going to put here 10,000. Okay, when I put 10,000 here and when I put 10,000 here, okay, will solver take these two routes? Because you're asking it to minimize the cost, and the cost in these two routes is exorbitantly high now. So you're asking it to minimize the cost, and the cost in these two routes are exorbitantly high. So will solver select these two routes at all? Right? So basically, solver will not select these two routes because there is exorbitant cost in these two routes now. So when you want to ensure that some routes are not taken, then what you need to do, and when you are dealing with cost, you want to ensure you can do that by putting exorbitantly high numbers, cost numbers, in the routes that are prohibited. Okay. Now, as you can see with the old cost numbers, Kochi and Bangalore, we were to send 700. We were to send 700 quantity from Kochi to Bangalore. Now I have put exorbitant cost here. Let me resolve this now. Okay. The process remains exactly the same. No change at all. So I go from data, I go to solver, I go to solver. Everything else is same. There is no change in the way we enter anything on solver. The only change we have done is to put exorbitantly high cost in the routes that are prohibited. Correct? I solve it again. Yeah, you can again see this, that it has solved it. And now you will see that the Kochi to Bangalore route, we are sending nothing on that route. We are also sending nothing on the Raipur to Patna. Right? Why did we not sending? Because we put exorbitantly high cost here. And because we're not sending anything on these two routes, again, I'll highlight them with the gray this thing, 0 here and 0 here. That means the condition that was put in the example. What was the condition that was put in the example? Okay, let me show you this again. The condition in the example was Kochi to Bangalore route is not available and Raipur to Patna route is also not available. Are we sending anything on those two routes now? No, we are not sending anything on those routes. Correct? And in the new scenario, my total transport cost minimum has now come out to 7,95,100. Okay, so solve this again and just confirm that you are getting the same answer. What if we put 0 in the above table? What will happen if you put 0 in the above table? 0 cost is the minimum cost, right? So in that case, solver will definitely pick up those two routes, which is what we don't want, right? That's why we put exorbitantly high cost, okay, in the prohibited routes. Okay, I'm seeing some answers now here that some of you have got the new answer also. So that was the concept of prohibited routes. Okay. Have you understood the concept of prohibited routes? If it is not clear, right, then put it on the chat. If the prohibited route concept you did not understand, put it on the chat accordingly. Okay, now there is a question from Nikhil. In case of maximizing, then we put 0. That is absolutely correct. That is absolutely correct, Nikhil. If it was a maximizing scenario, we are going to do one maximizing scenario. Then, and if there are some prohibited routes, then we use 0. Very good. Nilesh is asking, what if we put constraint at Kochi, Bangalore, and Raipur, Patna? So that's what we did. That's what we did, right, Nilesh? We put constraint on Kochi, Bangalore, and Raipur, Patna. That's what we did, Nilesh. So I don't understand your question. What is that you are trying to ask? Okay, now I had some problem with the electricity at my home, so I dropped off for a moment, and I have logged in again using another option. Okay, what I was asking is, are there any questions about the prohibited scenarios? Which roads are closed? That's there in the example, right? Kochi, Bangalore, and Raipur, Patna roads are closed. And that's why we put those exorbitantly high prices there. Okay. Anshu and others, I will request you to use the chat as a formal way of communication. Don't put anything personal there. Okay. Whosoever is doing that, you know, you may think that it is cool to do it, but it is really not. Okay. We are into a serious session. Let's limit to what we discuss to that subject only. Okay. Don't put anything else there. Let's maintain the decorum, guys. With 114 people, if you don't cooperate, we will not be able to do it. It's up to you. Right. Now, what if we just specify the Kochi, Bangalore to be 0? So understand, understand that if you put 0 here, Kochi, Bangalore as 0, this is the transport cost matrix. Right? If you put 0 here, it actually gets selected. Right? So you can't do that. And if you're asking what if you put force 0 here, you can do that. That's another way of doing it. But we are taking this particular way of solving these examples. Okay. So I hope that answered that question. Okay. Okay. So I hope this is clear. Now let's go on to, should we solve another problem now on transportation? What do you think? You think you need another one more problem of transportation? Or are you clear with this? Okay, Kanishka is saying yes, we need one more problem. Okay. Okay. Repeat the last part, another. Okay. So some of you possibly are asking for another problem. So let me do another problem, and then we only one more. There is only one more variation that we have to cover. Otherwise, we are done with what kind of problems you will get for this. Okay. the variation that we have to cover is we will do one problem now with that variation, and then we will stop. Okay, so let me try to find another problem for you. Okay, I'm going to use this one. Right. Okay. Are you able to see the screen now? Okay. Yeah, fair enough. Let's look at this final problem, guys, that we are doing for transportation problem. Okay, like earlier, there are these origins. Now, so far we had 3 sources. Now we have 4 sources. That does not matter. Okay? And there are 5 destinations now. There is another variation here. Now we have been given a profit matrix and not a cost matrix. So instead of saying that from sending from O1 to D1, there was a cost involved of 12 rupees. Now we are saying that there is a profit involved of 12 rupees. That means if you send 1 unit from O1 to D1, you are now going to make a profit of 12 rupees. Correct? Now, whenever you are dealing with anything that is positive, like profit, right? Obviously, your aim is to maximize it. If you're dealing with something negative like cost, your aim is to minimize it. If you're dealing with something positive, then of course you have to maximize. So this is a maximization scenario. So that's another version we are going to do. Okay. And there is one more version we are going to do where we are going to do an unbalanced problem now. Now, what is mean by unbalanced problem? The total sum of the demand is 180, right? 40 plus 20 plus 50, 180. And the total sum of the supply is 180. Now, this is a balanced problem. We are going to convert into an unbalanced problem. So how do we do that? So by changing and ensuring that your total supply does not match the total demand. So now my total supply is 180 here, and my total demand is 200. Okay. Whenever total demand is not equal to total supply, we say that it is an unbalanced transportation problem. So the 2 problems that we did earlier, they both were balanced transportation problems, right? Because the total is matched the total demand. Now, in this case, as you can see, the total supply, which is 180, does not match the total demand, which is 200. And hence this becomes unbalanced transportation problem. So these are the two final variations that we wanted to do with transportation problems, and hence we are doing it. Okay, so yeah, can you send the question? I'll put this table on the chat. Just give me a minute. Okay. Okay, I have put the question, the table on the chat now. You can copy it from there. Okay, so remember the variations, please. Our first example was only a minimization problem where we were given transport cost matrix and we were asked to minimize the cost, right? That was our first example. In the second example, we did exactly the same, but we did with some prohibited. The two routes we handled it by putting a large value in the cost field, correct? So that's the variation that we did. We are doing two more variations in this particular example, which is the last example we are going to do. What are those two variations? Number one, it is a maximization problem now because this is a profit matrix and not a minimization problem. So that's variation number one. And the second variation we are doing is where the total supply, as you can see here, the total supply is 180, which is the sum of the blue cells, while the total demand is 200, which is the supply of the green cells. Because the total supply does not have the total demand, this becomes an unbalanced transportation. Correct? So these two variations, fair enough? Okay, so I'll give you a minute to copy the information on your Excel and I will go ahead. Okay, let's try solving this now. So we're going to try to solve this particular example. So the first things first, when you are dealing with unbalanced transportation problem, what is the unbalanced transportation problem? Where the total supply does not match the total demand, right? This is an unbalanced transportation problem. So let me write here, okay? Okay, so for clarity, let me write here. Okay, sorry, once again, I again had problem with the broadband connection. I'm back again now. Okay, I'm back again now. And what we were doing, doing this particular example here. As you can see on the screen, we just said that this is an unbalanced transportation problem because the total demand does not match the total supply. So just capturing it here, we're saying this is unbalanced. Total demand, right? So that's why this is an unbalanced transportation problem. Now, whenever you are dealing with unbalanced transportation problems, the way to solve such problems is to convert that problem into a balanced problem. Okay. Now, यहाँ पे, as you can see, supply 180 है or demand 200, right? That means the demand is higher than the supply. So let me try to balance this problem by adding a dummy supply of 20 quantity. Okay, so I'll add a row here. Okay, I have just added a row here, and I'm going to say this as dummy supply. Okay, with quantity of 20. Now, why 20? Because that was the difference between my total supply and total demand. My total supply was 180, and my total demand was 200. The difference of 20 between the two, right? So when I want to convert that problem into a balanced problem, I need to add a dummy source because my supply is lower than the demand. If supply was higher than the demand, I would be required to add a dummy destination, right? The one which is lower, you need to add a dummy for that particular part. Now here, because the supply was lower than the demand, I have added a dummy source. Okay, so my dummy source is here. So I had 4 sources earlier, O1, O2, O3, and O4. I have added a dummy source with a quantity of 20. 20 because that's what the difference between the supply and the demand. Now, whenever you are adding a dummy source or a dummy destination, you need to add zeros in the transport cost or the profit matrix. Now, this is the profit matrix here. If it was a transport matrix, cost matrix also, you would have added 0 in the yellow matrix for the dummy source or destination. So the quantity will be equal to the difference between the total supply and total demand, correct? In this case, it is 20, and the corresponding profit numbers or the corresponding cost numbers for a dummy source or a dummy destination will be all zeros. So as highlighted here, they are all zeros, okay? So now what I've done is I've converted my unbalanced transportation problem into a balanced transportation problem because the sum of the supply now is 200 and sum of the demand is also 200. Correct? Now this has become a balanced transportation problem. Just like we solved the first 2 problems, we have to solve this problem also. The only difference is that this is a maximization problem because these are profit numbers and not cost numbers. Okay, Baki, there is absolutely no difference. We do exactly in the same way of that we had done. Okay, right. Okay, many of you are asking this question again and again, where to get the recording. So let me ask sir now, if sir is on the on call now. So Mone sir, are you there? Can you hear me, Mone sir? Okay, so let me repeat it once again. Don't worry about the recordings. You will get recordings of both these sessions. Okay. At the moment, try to focus on what we are doing in the class. You will get recordings of both these sessions. Okay. So this is a balanced problem now. I can solve it like we did the first 2, which we will do now. Correct. So how do we solve this? Just copy. So this is another chance for you to catch up again in case you did not understand certain things earlier. I will introduce 2 columns here. So I insert 2 columns here. right? Done. Correct. And then I introduce 2 rows here. Yeah, 2 rows inserted here. Okay, great. Now, as usual, I'll capture sum here in this particular field. So this will be sum. Okay. And I will capture the sum of the column cells here. Okay. So I captured, I remove all the values from here because this is going to be my quantity matrix, right? Also, I know that these 2 things should match. Same, what we did earlier. So all of these should match here, and all of these should also match. Okay, exactly the same thing that we did earlier. Absolutely no difference. And then I'll change the color of this matrix because it is going to be my quantity matrix. So I'm just converting it to orange color to use the same color combination like earlier. Okay, all done now. We can directly go to solver and try to solve this. So of course we have to capture the total profit for a formula. So total profit here, formula is going to be exactly the same, sum product of matrix number 1 and matrix number 2. Okay, so that's formula is here. Again, I will highlight that as dark blue color to keep the same color coding. Okay, now we know how to solve this in data. Under data, I'll go to solver, right? Set objective is my cell which has the formula for the profit. Now the difference here is we are not minimizing this, right? So we are setting it to maximum because there is profit. Okay, so I'm setting it to maximum now, not to minimum. By changing what? By changing the quantity matrix cells subject to these 2 sets of constraints. एक तो ये है, this all should be equal to this all, correct? And the second set of constraints, and then all these should match all these. Okay, say okay. Right, all done now. Select the simplex LP method and solve. Okay, so it has found the solution. That solution is here, as you can see. Right, the solution is here, and the total profit has come to 1695. Now this is maximum profit that you can achieve. Yeah, to repeat, you can try any other combination, you will not be able to achieve a profit higher than 1695. Yeah, so this is the optimal profit, which is of course the maximum profit that you can achieve in this scenario. Okay, so I'll wait for a couple of minutes here. Try to solve this yourself. Digvijay and Kanishka, it seems that they have been able to solve this, which is very good. Others, please do try. And Vijay Lakshmi also. Others, do try. I'll wait for a couple of minutes. Okay, Neha and Shruti also, Sandeep as well. Ria also, very good. Okay, Priyanshu and Nikhil, great. Okay, Dimple, that's such a good question. Okay, what Dimple is asking is, but the profit that we have got, right, includes the profit from the dummy. So how do we know what is the actual profit? Because dummy is dummy, right? It doesn't actually exist in practice. We added that just to convert the problem to a balanced problem. So what Dimple is asking is correct. That the profit figure here, 1695, includes the profit from the dummy source also. So how do we calculate the actual profit? So Dimple, answer to that question is, what is the profit number for the unit profit number for the dummy was all zeros, right? All zeros. So even if this 20 quantity appears here, it is getting multiplied with 0. Huh? That means the profit from the dummy is actually not added to this total profit figure because we have taken unit profit as 0. So to answer your question, this does not impact the solution. The solution is correct, and you will actually end up making 1695 as the profit. Is that correct? Is that okay, Dimple? Understood? Yeah, great. But it was a very good question. Okay, Manusha, what your connection was problem, so they had to reconnect. Manisha, see, we haven't done anything differently. The only difference, okay, let me go to solver just to answer your question. See, the only difference this time is that we are setting the objective to maximum because this was a profit scenario and you will always want to maximize the profit, not minimize, right? So the only difference was we set the objective to maximum. Otherwise, there was no difference in the way we solved. This is very similar to the first two examples that we did. Okay, absolutely no difference. Only difference was after after we converted it into a balanced problem, the only difference was to maximize it, not minimize it. Okay. Right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the slides. Okay, here. Yeah. Right. So okay. In next 5 minutes, I'm going to repeat what all we have achieved today and what all variations we have done, so that when you try to solve your assignments, right, that does not remain a problem for you. Okay. So transportation problem, we said we want to find out the most effective solution, which is either to minimize the transport cost or to maximize the profit. Correct. So two types of scenarios we said. Balanced का क्या मतलब है? Total demand is equal to total supply, right? And unbalanced is where total demand is either less than the total supply or greater than the total supply. In both the scenarios, it is called to be unbalanced problem. Correct? Now, balanced may, because total demand is equal to total supply, we don't have to add any dummy because anyway demand is matching supply. So we solve the example as we solved our example number 1 and 2, because both those were balanced problems, right? The only thing you have to remember, there are two variations possible. The first is, are you talking about cost? If you're talking about cost, minimize it. If you're talking about profit, maximize it. That's variation number 1. What is the second variation? Are there any prohibited routes? So if there is a prohibited route and you're talking about cost, so you have to put a very high cost in the route which is prohibited. On the other hand, if you're talking about profit, and if there is a prohibited route, you have to put 0 as profit for that route, right? So that those prohibited routes are not picked up by your solver solution. Okay. So those are the variations that you should be aware of. Now, when you are dealing with an unbalanced problem, what is that you need to do? Okay. And basically, you convert the unbalanced problem into a balanced problem, correct? Where total demand is less than the total supply, आपका demand कम है और supply ज़्यादा है, तो you add a dummy destination. Dummy destination का quantity कितना होगा? It will be the difference between the total supply and total demand. The quantity will be equal to the difference between the total supply and total demand, and all the cost numbers and profit numbers or profit numbers will be all zeros, right? वो हमने देखा है. On the other hand, if your demand is higher than the supply, जैसे हमारे अभी ये problem में था, right? Demand was higher than the supply by 20. In that case, you need to add a dummy source. Dummy source का quantity कितना होगा? The difference between total supply and total demand. And again, ensure for the dummy that you added, all the cost figures or profit figures should be zeros. Correct? That is how you solve the unbalanced problem. Right? Once you add a dummy source or dummy destination, they become a balanced problem, just like any other problem. You then go and solve it. Okay. Prohibited routes का variation हमने देखा है. Assign very high cost to the prohibited routes or assign zero profit to the prohibited route. Maximizing scenarios, when you are dealing with profit or any positive payoff, maximize it. Okay, that's done. We have covered our transportation problems with all the 4 variations that we discussed: balanced, unbalanced, prohibited routes, and maximization. Those are the variations. So we still have 10 more minutes, right? If there are any questions that remain, apart from the fact कि आपको recording चाहिए, you can ask those questions on the chat now, okay? And I'll try to answer. I repeat, people who didn't have access to Excel, I hope you have taken down these things, and also recordings will be available to you. Once you have access to Excel, try to resolve everything that we have done today. Okay. What I'll also share with you is there are 3 problems that we solved, right? I will share with you the problems and the solutions in the same Excel sheet for all these 3 problems. So you will have the problem statements for all the 3 problems, also the solutions. Okay. So I'll share that with you by end of the day today. So along with those things and along with the recorded sessions, you will be able to catch up in case you are not able to keep the pace with us today. Okay. Okay, great. Are there any questions? Okay, repeat the variations, Vedant. Let me do one thing. Vedant, for this thing, let me very quickly capture them on the slide here so that they remain with you. Okay, so just to answer Vedant's questions, variations in transportation, right? Okay, the first variation, of course, is maximization. And the third is, of course, are there any prohibited routes? Right? So these are the variations we're talking about. Okay. Okay, Anshu, yeah, it is a little bit difficult, especially when you try it for the first time. When you do these examples again, when you get time, you will find a little more comfort with it. Okay, so next Saturday, same times, when we will handle another module. You know, like we handled transportation module today, we are going to handle another module next Saturday. Okay, I hope you enjoyed your time today, and I'll see you next Saturday. Thanks, guys.